The summer of 2025 has become a pivotal turning point for Boeing, a company that was once celebrated as the undisputed king of the skies. Now it finds itself at the center of a crisis that has shaken the world's trust in air travel and raised urgent questions about safety and accountability. The 787 Dreamliner, Boeing's flagship and a symbol of modern aviation, is now at the heart of a storm, one that's about much more than a single faulty part or a technical glitch. Whistleblowers have come forward, government warnings have been issued, and lawsuits have piled up, all exposing a troubling pattern of negligence and a lack of transparency that goes back years. These aren't isolated incidents. They reveal a deeper systemic problem within Boeing's corporate culture, one that many say has prioritized profits and production speed over the safety of passengers and crew. The world is watching closely as Boeing's reputation and the safety of millions of passengers hang in the balance, with every new headline fueling public concern. This is a story about trust, the trust every passenger places in manufacturers, airlines, and regulators each time they step onto a plane, expecting to arrive safely at their destination. Recent discoveries have forced a painful and necessary conversation about whether Boeing's relentless drive for efficiency and market dominance has come at the expense of the most fundamental value: safety. We'll take you inside the FAA directive that put every U.S. Dreamliner under intense scrutiny, revealing the scale of the challenge facing regulators and airlines alike. We'll examine the chaos that erupted when a major airline grounded its entire Dreamliner fleet, and the high-stakes lawsuit accusing Boeing of hiding the truth from the public and its partners. This is the untold story of the 787's shocking discovery, a crisis that's not only shaking Boeing, but also reshaping the future of air travel for everyone. The stakes have never been higher, and the world is waiting to see what comes next for Boeing and the entire aviation industry. On March 17, 2025, the FAA issued a sweeping airworthiness directive, ordering immediate inspections of every U.S.-registered Boeing 787. The focus, the forward pressure bulkhead, a critical structural component. Inspectors had found multiple non-conformances, excessive gaps, and over-tightened fasteners, posing a risk of hidden fatigue cracks. If left unchecked, these flaws could threaten the aircraft's structural integrity at altitude. The FAA's action followed months of escalating warnings, including a whistleblower's alert nearly a year earlier. Boeing's earlier non-mandatory bulletin was now superseded by a federal mandate, signaling the problem was more severe than first believed. Airlines faced immediate inspections, operational disruptions, and shaken passenger confidence. The directive's cost went far beyond dollars. It was about restoring trust in the system. The FAA made it clear, self-policing wasn't enough. Regulators had to step in to ensure safety wasn't left to chance. A line had been crossed, and the industry was on notice. The forward pressure bulkhead isn't just another part, it's a vital barrier that keeps the cabin pressurized at 40,000 feet. Defects like excessive gaps and over-tightened fasteners create hidden weaknesses in the composite structure. These flaws can grow silently, flight after flight, until a catastrophic failure occurs. The FAA feared undetected cracks could trigger a rapid decompression event, an immediate threat to everyone on board. The urgency of the directive was clear: find these flaws before disaster strikes. Airlines were forced to scrutinize areas often overlooked in routine maintenance. The discovery of widespread non-conformances pointed to systemic quality control failures at Boeing. How did such critical errors slip through on the world's most advanced airliner? The integrity of the entire airframe depended on getting this right. The industry was forced to confront uncomfortable questions about Boeing's manufacturing standards. On May 3, 2025, KLM made headlines by grounding 7 of its Boeing 787 Dreamliners, not because of any structural flaws, but due to a series of maintenance errors in the aircraft's sophisticated refueling system. The decision sent shockwaves through the aviation industry, highlighting how even the most advanced jets can be brought to a standstill by human mistakes. The root of the problem lay in the complex, model-specific procedures unique to the 787. These intricate steps led to confusion and mistakes, ultimately disrupting flights for more than 600 passengers and causing a ripple effect of delays across KLM's network. This incident exposed a new and growing risk in modern aviation: When maintenance becomes too complicated, even experienced technicians are vulnerable to making critical errors. Even systems that appeared identical to those on older aircraft require different, more intricate procedures on the 787, catching many off guard and increasing the margin for error. This raised serious questions about Boeing's design philosophy. Was the Dreamliner, with all its technological advancements, simply too complex for airlines to maintain safely and efficiently? For KLM, the grounding quickly turned into a public relations nightmare. For Boeing, it was yet another blow to its already fragile reputation, intensifying scrutiny from both regulators and the flying public. The problems weren't isolated to the factory floor. They extended into airline hangars around the world, affecting global operations and maintenance routines. The KLM episode fueled growing industry concerns about the 787's long-term reliability, as well as the potential for hidden risks that might only surface after years of service. Airlines and passengers alike were left questioning the true cost of technological advancement, wondering if the benefits of innovation outweighed the new challenges it brought. The Dreamliner's promise of efficiency and progress now came with a new set of worries, casting a shadow over the future of high-tech aviation. In court, Boeing faces explosive allegations, not just of manufacturing flaws, but of deliberate deception. Plaintiffs, including Norwegian Air subsidiaries, accuse Boeing of hiding safety issues with both the 737 MAX and 787 Dreamliner. The legal battle escalated when Boeing was accused of stonewalling the discovery process, refusing to turn over key documents for months. Plaintiffs claim Boeing tried to decide what evidence was relevant, undermining a fair trial. The court was asked to appoint a special master to force compliance, a sign of total breakdown in trust. This lawsuit isn't just about technical failures, it's about intent, transparency, and whether Boeing put profit over truth. For a company still reeling from the MAX crisis, these new allegations threaten to inflict lasting damage. The FAA directive and lawsuits are just the latest echoes of warnings from inside Boeing. Whistleblowers first raised alarms about 787 fuselage gaps in April 2024, risking their careers to speak out. Their claims, initially dismissed, were later validated by the FAA's mandate. This pattern mirrors the 737 MAX crisis, where internal warnings were ignored in the rush to compete with Airbus. Despite promises of reform, Boeing's culture still seems to prioritize speed and cost over safety. Whistleblowers are often marginalized, yet their warnings keep proving true. The repeated validation of these claims points to a systemic breakdown in Boeing's safety culture. Critical information is suppressed until forced into the open by crisis or regulation. This reactive approach is dangerous, eroding trust among regulators, airlines, and the public. The question remains, how many more warnings are being ignored? Beneath the technical details lies a human story, passenger trust, the foundation of aviation. Every journey begins with a leap of faith, as travelers place their lives in the hands of unseen engineers, pilots, and regulators. Millions board planes daily, trusting in manufacturers, airlines, and regulators to keep them safe. This trust is not given lightly. It is earned over decades of reliability, innovation, and a shared commitment to safety. The 787 revelations have shaken that trust, making passengers question the safety of their flights. For many, the sense of security that once came naturally is now tinged with doubt and anxiety. For most, the specifics of bulkheads or maintenance are irrelevant. What matters is the headline: structural defects, grounded fleets, lawsuits. These stories dominate the news, fueling uncertainty and fear. The Boeing name, once synonymous with reliability, is now linked to scandal and doubt. The company's reputation, built over generations, is now at risk of being overshadowed by controversy. Airlines must manage not just operational chaos, but also the challenge of reassuring anxious customers. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to restore confidence, or to lose it further. Every canceled flight is a broken promise, deepening the crisis of confidence. The ripple effects are felt by families, businesses, and entire communities. The consequences ripple beyond passengers. Global business, family connections, and cultural exchange all depend on safe air travel. When trust falters, the world feels smaller and more uncertain. Boeing's crisis is now a societal one, not just corporate. The integrity of the entire aviation ecosystem is being tested, and the stakes could not be higher. Rebuilding trust will require more than words. It demands radical transparency and a renewed commitment to safety. Only through real change can confidence be restored. The industry's future depends on restoring that sacred trust. The world is watching, waiting to see if aviation can rise to meet this defining challenge. Boeing now faces a multi-front crisis: regulatory scrutiny, airline groundings, and damaging lawsuits. The company's public response is familiar: confidence in its products, promises of cooperation, and a commitment to transparency. Yet, the FAA's mandatory inspections and ongoing legal battles suggest deeper issues. Critics argue Boeing is downplaying the seriousness of its manufacturing defects, prioritizing image over accountability. In court, Boeing claims it's protecting trade secrets, but this stance only fuels suspicion. The company insists it has changed since the MAX disasters, but recurring problems with the 787 tell a different story. Boeing's leadership is under intense pressure to prove real change. The world is no longer willing to take Boeing at its word; it demands proof. The 787 crisis is a wake-up call for the entire aviation industry, not just Boeing. Decades of self-certification are giving way to stricter oversight, longer certification times, and higher costs. Boeing faces a catastrophic loss of trust, staggering financial risks, and a demand for genuine cultural change. The duopoly with Airbus is shaken, leaving airlines with fewer choices and more uncertainty. The ripple effects will impact fleets, ticket prices, and global travel for years. This is a stress test for aviation's entire ecosystem: manufacturing, oversight, and accountability. The coming months will reveal if Boeing and regulators can truly change course. The goal to restore the promise of safe skies, now resting on a foundation that must be rebuilt. The world is watching, and the stakes could not be higher.